Maryland, leaving the capital. Returning to the bus station, I reclaimed my luggage cart from the locker and stood on line to have my Ameripass checked and to receive my ticket to Lexington, Kentucky. It was a long line. After 15 minutes, I finally arrived at the window, and the ticket agent said, "Your bus is loading now." I thanked her and rushed to the loading platform. I was the last passenger. I gave the driver my ticket, and he said, "Lexington, Virginia." I asked, "What did you say?" He repeated, "Lexington, Virginia." I cried, "Oh no, I want Lexington, Kentucky." He said, "You'll have to go back in and change it." I rushed inside only to stand again on a very long line. When I finally arrived at the ticket counter, I said to the same ticket agent, "I would like a ticket to Lexington, Kentucky. The bus outside is going to Lexington, Virginia." Sheepishly, the agent said, "Sorry, the bus to Lexington, Kentucky has left. The bus to Lexington, Virginia is loading now at gate." I thanked her and rushed off to the gate named. When I gave the driver the new ticket, he looked at it and said, "I can get you to Lexington, Kentucky, but this bus does not go there." Knowing the bus or the station would be my hotel for the night, I said, "I'll take it." Leaving Washington, D.C. at sunset, the first stop was Silver Lake, Maryland. The bus was crowded, and for the first time since leaving Harlem, New York, I had a seat partner. He was a young black man who immediately began flirting with me. I asked him his name. I did not write it down, so now I cannot remember it. What I do remember is my response to his flirting. Turning in my seat, I looked him in the eye and said, "I have no idea how old you are. I only know I have children older than you. I am the mother of 9 and the grandmother of 3. At the time, I was in my 47th year. He looked me in the eye and said, "Except for your hands, you could pass for late 20s or early 30s. I said, "Really? What do you suggest? Should I wear gloves or cut off my hands?" He thought I was serious, so that told me how truly young he was. He laughed and said, "I see we're going to get along fine." We had a pleasant time chatting. When we arrived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, pulling my cart and supplies, he helped me into the terminal and waited until I found a seat. Thanking him, we parted as friends. Wheeling, West Virginia. Memories of Ohio. In the middle of the night, I transferred to a bus to Wheeling, West Virginia. With the dawn, we arrived in Wheeling for an early breakfast. Here, I boarded the bus to Columbus, the capital of Ohio. We arrived in time for another breakfast. Waiting for my next bus, I walked the streets I walked a lifetime ago. On that long time ago trip, in the spring of 1968, I was a chaperone for the 6th grade class at the elementary school my son attended in Cleveland, Ohio. In the bookstore of the university, I found a volume of Ralph Waldo Emerson essays. In my high school English class debate, I chose to be Emerson. In researching this author, I visited the Carnegie Library for Colored for the first time. Emerson has ever since been one of my favorite writers. Home again in Cleveland, it was this book I took with me to the park the morning we heard that Robert Kennedy had been killed. The tragedy of Martin Luther King and now Robert Kennedy was more than my family could absorb, so we took our cares to the great outdoors and for a little while communed with nature. On this trek, I returned to the bus station and boarded the bus. Our next stop was Cincinnati, Ohio. I remained on the bus. Looking at the hills, I remember stories of the German settlers. Sunday was moving on, and as I was eager to get to Lexington, no haiku or scenes moved my creative muse.